I told my boss that. So I'll have a talk with my big boss. So that if you need any, if this comes up,
Ed, a quick question.
The mic is not working. Can you hear me? Oh. Yeah. I talk loud, so I don't even. He told me the mic didn't work. I said, there's no problem. So when you teach school, you learn to talk loud, so listen. Before we start, I would like to have a moment of silence. We had a member pass away last night, and I'd like a moment of silence for Sybil McCullen. Thank you. On behalf of the Jewish Federation of Columbus Board, welcome to the 2025 kickoff evening. The JFC Board includes Gail Greenblatt, Brian Hirsch, Ron Hell, Mark Rice, Ken Kulik, Dan Borkat, Elsa Hirsch, Regina Satloff-Block, Pat Walensky, Mark Rice, Sandy Brody, and Robert Schlesinger, and Ronette Rice is our executive director, and I'm serving as president of it this year. Jewish federations and over 300 independent Jewish communities raise and distribute more than $2 billion annually for social welfare, social services, and educational needs. The Federation movement, collectively among the top 10 charities on the continent, protects and enhances the well-being of Jews worldwide through the values of Tikkun Olam, repairing the world, and tzedakah, charity and social justice, and Torah, Jewish learning. So what all this means is that it's our mission to lead a bold continental federation movement to mobilize financial and social resources through its philanthropic endeavors, strategic initiatives, and international agencies to strengthen the Jewish people. Besides the Jewish Federation of Columbus sending funds to aid Jews in the United States, as well as around the world, our donations are dispersed throughout the state of Georgia and locally in Columbus, Georgia. We support Hillel at the University of Georgia and a summer camp program for children with autism. Locally, we support the Temple Israel Religious School, the PJ Library, grants and scholarships for summer camps and trips to Israel, local emergencies as well. Now, it is my honor and pleasure to call on Mark Rice, who will introduce our program. And thank you again for all being here. We're in for a wonderful
evening. Since 2006, Sergio Schwartz has been the William B. and Sue Marie Turner Distinguished Faculty Chair in Violin at Columbus State University's Schwob School of Music. Professor Schwartz was born in Bucharest, Romania, where he began studying violin at the age of 6. He studied at the Tel Aviv Music Academy in Israel, Hanover Hochschule für Musik in Germany, London Guildhall in England, and the Juilliard School of Music in New York. His artistic development was furthered by world-renowned artists such as Isaac Stern, Yehudi Menuhin, Nathan Milstein, and the legendary conductor Sergio Chelobadaki. Professor Schwartz was a prize winner in international competitions in Israel, Switzerland, England, Chile, and the United States. He made his critically acclaimed London debut in the Outstanding Israeli Artist Series in London's Wigmore Hall. He won the Artist International Competition in New York and was presented at Carnegie Weill Recital Hall in New York and the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. He performed and recorded with the London Symphony. His discography includes highly acclaimed recordings on the Vox, Naxos, Giga, and Romeo labels. Fanfare magazine, for serious record collectors, wrote, quote, "For those who lament the passing of the great violinist of the middle of this last century, Schwartz's collection should provide a great sense of optimism that a younger violinist still commands such assured rhetoric and expressive resources. Heifetz, Milstein, Oistrakh, Isaac Stern, Francis Gotti, they all come to mind." Professor Schwartz appeared as a soloist with leading orchestras in the United States, Europe, and Israel, and he performed and taught at music festivals in the US, France, Italy, Finland, Bulgaria, Austria, Romania, Switzerland, Israel, China, and Korea. In 2010, he was appointed violin professor at the Humu Conservatoire de Lausanne in Switzerland. Professor Schwartz serves as a juror in major international competitions. Many of his students are top prize winners in prestigious international violin competitions, and they secure prominent positions with major orchestras and chamber ensembles in North America and Europe. Overall, Professor Schwartz said his experience from performing in 40 U.S. states, 20 countries, and 4 continents has enhanced, quote, my interest and knowledge of 6 languages, history, culture, religion, philosophy, and art, serving as an ambassador through my music to bring people and cultures together, end quote. Professor Schwartz performs on his 1780 Lorenzo Storiani violin. He will be happy to take questions from the audience at the end of his performance. We are also pleased to welcome Nancy McKee, pianist at First Baptist Church in Columbus, who will accompany Professor Schwartz for this special performance. Ladies and gentlemen, Professor Schwartz and Nancy McKee.
I'm just looking. So many familiar faces, and so happy that you can be here and that you had a good time in the reception hall. Hope you had some nice refreshments and socializing and making new friends. Music does bring together people, cultures, and faith from all over. And this is our way of communicating through music with you. And we'll start our program with the Dance of the Blessed Spirits from the opera Eurydice, Orfeo and Eurydice by Gluck. It's an arrangement of Fritz Kreisler. Basically, all you need to know is that Orfeo was the god of music, and in this particular piece, he's trying to resurrect his beloved. The Dance of the Blessed Spirit by Gluck, with Nancy McKee on the piano. So on the subject of blessings, and indeed we should feel blessed that we have what we have. We live in a rather tumultuous world. It's a lot happening lately, but with the right kind of positivity and spirit and beauty and art, we all aspire to peace and love. And I wanted to add also another kind of blessing, which is based on an Irish tune. And I learned this piece thanks to Nancy, who loves this piece, and I would ask Nancy maybe to recite the words.
First off, thank you so much for this kind invitation to play with you tonight. I hope you enjoy it. This is an Irish blessing, which you may or may not be associated with, but it's very popular. And since my husband is from Scotland, his name is Patrick McKee, I thought you might enjoy hearing the text before you hear the music. May the road rise to meet you. May the wind blow at your back. May the sun shine warmly on your face. May the rain fall softly on your fields. And until we meet again, until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. As we are talking in prep for this concert, I told Sergio about this piece, how it makes me cry. I rarely play it without tears because it can connect us on earth with our loved ones there already. When it says, and I'm fine with the rain and the sun and everything, that's all fine. But it says, until we meet again, and realizing I'm alone. My brother, my mother, my dad, my grandparents, my aunts, my uncles are there. But when it says, until we meet again, I think of them. So you, of course, have loved ones waiting on an embrace from you. That first embrace. That's what this is about to me. Of course, I'm happy to meet all of you again here on this planet. But if you want to consider this an invitation to connect earth and heaven, I hope you enjoy it.
disturb this very spiritual, peaceful atmosphere here, but we are going to continue with Paganini. And Paganini was known as unbelievable virtuoso, Italian virtuoso who composed and performed and inspired other composers like Liszt and Brahms. And he possessed all kinds of powers that in those days, in the absence of Twitter, fake news, or other media, people were just gossiping and talking, and they attributed to Paganini supernatural powers. And because nobody could play like he played. And he loved opera. And some of his best friends were opera composers like Rossini, and also Hector Berlioz, who wrote for him Harold in Italy, the viola solo. So, in general, Paganini's music is very virtuosic, but for the purpose of what we are presenting tonight, I chose a piece which is connected to his world of opera, called Cantabile, from the word cantare, which means bel canto, and it's a very beautiful piece. It's about singing. There's the violin, this little box with 4 strings and one bow with a few strands of horsehair. It's supposed to emulate a human voice. Cantabile by Paganini. to follow with two pieces by Fritz Kreisler, born in Germany, but lived most of his life in Vienna, and then he emigrated to the United States with the Anschluss during the Second World War. He lost his German citizenship, so he and his American wife had to go to America, which pretty much saved his life. So Fritz Kreisler was one of the most beloved violinists, admired by luminaries like Jascha Heifetz and many, all of his contemporaries. He had a very warm, charming personality, and this is also evident in many pieces which he composed. In this program, we're going to play two of his waltzes, Viennese waltzes. One is called Liebeslied, Love's Sorrow or Love's Regrets, and the other one, it's a happy one, Liebesfreude, the joy of love. So it's a slow and a fast waltz.
Thank you.
going to continue with beautiful work, the composition of John Williams for the movie Schindler's List. And on the original soundtrack, you probably remember that it was Itzhak Perlman. I saw the movie, and I also was very moved also by the music. And we are going to play this piece and also realize that what Steven Spielberg did as a tribute to his parents and to his family in doing this movie, because he could have stayed with Jaws and Jurassic Park and other blockbusters, but he chose to do this very serious, very deep, profound and very sad subject. But unfortunately, history repeats itself, so what we thought it was over 80 years ago, it's still happening today. So I'm dedicating this piece also to bring back with the hostages for their safe return. Now that we got in the mood for Jewish pieces, we're going to continue with a Jewish composer who was born in Switzerland, Ernst Bloch. Quite a similar story. He had to leave Europe for obvious reasons, established himself in the United States. He is the founder of the San Francisco Conservatory. Then he worked in New York. I never met him, but I met his daughter, Susanna Bloch, who was one of my teachers at Juilliard. Somehow she took an interest in me and she came to all my concerts. And of all repertoire, considering that her father was a romantic composer and from the generation of the 19th and 20th century of composers, she was at the opposite spectrum. She was a lute player, a Renaissance music player, quite barockish, and she first heard me play Bach Chaconne. And she somehow liked it very much, and she came to me and she said, my father would have loved this very much because he loved Bach as well. But the piece we are going to play is from a trilogy, Baal Shem, which he wrote, Vidui, which is confession, Nigun, pretty much a prayer improvisation, that's the one that we're going to do, and the last piece is Simchat Torah, which we're not going to play today. So Ernst Bloch, Nigun. We are coming to our close of this short recital, and we are going to end with something which is very familiar to you by George Gershwin, who wrote the opera Bourg-en-Bresse. And this is like only a short part of the opera. It's just two songs which were arranged by famous violinist Jascha Heifetz. But what I have in mind, as a matter of fact, in terms of an idea for style and sound, is not so much Jascha Heifetz, but the inspiration coming from great singers like Ella Fitzgerald or Billie Holiday. So we'll see if I succeed. It ain't necessarily so. Preceded by Summertime.
Wow.